Then we have another part of this preface is the next part. A seducer does not turn the power off and on. Every social and personal interaction is seen as a potential seduction. There is never a moment to waste. This is so for several reasons. The power seducers have over a man or woman works in a social environment because they have learned how to tone down the sexual element without getting rid of it. We may think we see through them, but they are so pleasant to be around anyway that it does not matter. It does not matter. Trying to divide your life into moments in which you seduce and others in which you hold back will only confuse and constrain you. Erotic desire and love lurk beneath the surface of almost every human encounter. Better to give free rein to your skills than to try to use them only in the bedroom. In fact, the seducer sees the world as his or her bedroom. This attitude creates great seductive momentum, and with each seduction you gain experience and practice. One social or sexual seduction makes the next one easier. Your confidence growing and making you more alluring. People are drawn to you in greater numbers as the seducer's aura descends upon you. Seducers have a warrior's outlook on life. They see each person as a kind of wattled castle to which they are laying siege. Seduction is a process of penetration, initially penetrating the target's mind, their first point of defense. Once seducers have penetrated the mind, making the target fantasize about them, it is easy to lower resistance and create physical surrender. Seducers do not improvise. They do not leave this process to chance. Like any good general, they plan and strategize, aiming at the target's aiming at the target's particular weaknesses. The main obstacle to becoming a seducer is this foolish prejudice we have of seeing love and romance as some kind of sacred magical realm where things just fall into place if they are meant to. This might seem romantic and quaint, but it's really just a cover for our laziness. What will seduce a person is the effort we spend on their behalf, showing how much we care, how much they are worth. Leaving things to chance is a recipe for disaster, and reveals that we do not take love and romance very seriously. It was therefore Casanova expended the artfulness he applied to each affair that made him so devilishly seductive. Falling in love is a matter not of magic but psychology. Once you understand your target's psychology and strategize to suit it, you will be better able to cast a magical spell. A seducer sees love not as a secret but as a warfare, where all is fair. Seducers are never self-absorbed, their gaze is directed outward, not inward. When they met someone, their first move is to get inside that person's skin, to see the world through their eyes. The reason for this are several. Self-absorption is a sign of insecurity. It is anti-seductive. Everyone has insecurities, but seducers manage to ignore them, finding therapy for moments of self-doubt by being absorbed in the world. This gives them a buoyant spirit. We want to be around them. Second, getting into someone's skin, imagining what it is like to be them, helps the seducers gather valuable information, learn what makes that person tick, what make them where I was. What will make them lose their ability to think straight and fall into a trap. This gives them a buoyant spirit. We want to be around them. Second, getting into someone's skin, imagining what it's like to be them, helps the seducers gather valuable information, learn what makes that person tick, what will make them lose their ability to think straight and fall into a trap. Armed with such information, they can provide focus and individualized attention, a rare commodity in a world in which most people see us only behind the screen of their own prejudices. Getting into target's skin is the first important tactical move in the war of penetration. Seducers see themselves as providers of pleasure, like bees that gather pollen from some flowers and deliver it to others. As children, we mostly devoted our lives to play and pleasure. Adults often have feelings of being cut off from this paradise, of being weighed down by responsibilities. The seducers knows that people are waiting for pleasure. They never get enough of it from friends and lovers, and they cannot get by themselves. A person who enters their lives offering adventure and romance cannot be resisted. Pleasure is a feeling of being taken past our limits, of being overwhelmed by another person, by an experience. People are dying to be overwhelmed, to let go of their usual stubbornness. Sometimes their resistance to us is a way of saying, "Please seduce me." Seducers know that the possibility of pleasure will make a person follow them, and the experience of it will make someone open up, weak to the touch. They also train themselves to be sensitive to pleasure, knowing that feeling pleasure themselves will make it that much easier for them to infect the people around them. A seducer sees all of life as a theater, everyone an actor. Most people feel they have constricted roles in life, which make them unhappy. Seducers, on the other hand, can be anyone and can assume many roles. The archetype here is the god Zeus, insatiable seducers of young maidens, whose main weapon was the ability to assume the form of whatever person or animal would most appeal to his victim. Seducers take pleasure in performing and are not weighed down by their identity or by some need to be themselves or to be natural. This freedom of theirs, this fluidity in body and spirit is what makes them attractive. What people like in life is not more reality but illusion, fantasy, play, the clothes that the seducers wear, the places they take you to, the words and actions are slightly heightened, not overly theatrical, but with the delightful edge of unreality, as if the two of you were living out a piece of fiction or were characters in a film. Seduction is a kind of theater in real life, the meeting of illusion and reality. Finally, seducers are completely immoral in their approach to life. It is all a game, an arena for play. Knowing that the moralists, the crab repressed types who croak about the evils of the seducers, secretly imbibe the power. They do not concern themselves with other people's opinions. They do not deal in moral judgments. Nothing could be less seductive. Everything is pliant, fluid, like life itself. Seduction is a form of deception, but people want to be led astray. They yearn to be seduced. If they didn't, seducers would not find so many willing victims. Get rid of any moralizing tendencies, adopt the seducer's playful philosophy, and you will find the rest of the process easy and natural. The art of seduction is designed to arm you with weapons of persuasion and charm, so that those around you will slowly lose their ability to resist without knowing how or why it has happened. It is an art of war for delicate times. Every seduction has two elements you must analyze and understand. First, yourself, and what is seductive about you, and second, your target and the action that will penetrate their defense and create surrender. The two sides are equally important. If you strategize without paying attention to the parts of your character to draw people to you, you will be seen as a mechanical seducer. slimy, and manipulative. If you rely on your seductive personality without paying attention to the other person, you will make terrible mistakes and limit your potential. Consequently, the art of seduction is divided in two parts. The first half, the seductive character, describes the 9 types of seducers plus the anti-seducer. Studying these types will make you aware of what is inherently seductive in your character, the basic building block of any seduction. The second half, the seductive process, includes the 24 maneuvers and strategies that will instruct you on how to create a spell, break down people's resistance, give movement and force to your seduction, and induce surrender in your target. As a kind of bridge between the two parts, there is a chapter on the 18 types of victims of seduction. Victims of a seduction, each of them missing something from their lives, each cradling an emptiness you can feel. Knowing what type you are dealing with will help you put into practice the ideas in both sections. Ignore any part of this book and you will be an incomplete seducer. The ideas and strategies in the art of seduction are based on the writings and historical accounts of the most successful seducers in history. The sources include The Seducer's Own Memoirs by Casanova, Errol Flynn, Natalie Barney, Marilyn Monroe, biographies by Cleopatra, Josephine Bonaparte, John F. Kennedy, Duke Ellington, handbooks on the subject, most notably of Vite's Art of Love, fictional accounts of seductions, $2 de la Close, Danger of Liaison, Soren Kierkegaard, The Seducer's Diary, Murasaki Shikibu's The Tale of Genji. The heroes and heroines of these literary works are generally modeled on real-life seducers. The strategies that they employ reveal the intimate connection between fiction and seduction, creating illusion and leading a person along. In putting the book's lesson into practice, you will be following in the path of the greatest masters of art. Finally, the spirit that will make you consummate seducer is the spirit in which you should read this book. The French writer Denis Diderot once wrote, "I give my mind the liberty to follow the first wise or foolish idea that presents itself, just as in the Avenue de Foy or dissolute youth follow close on the heels of some trumpet. Then leave her to pursue another, attacking all of them and attaching themselves to no one. Then leave her pursue another, attacking all of them and attaching themselves to one. My thoughts are my trumpets. He meant that he let himself be seduced by the ideas, following whichever one caught his fancy until a better one came along. His thoughts infused with a kind of sexual excitement. Once you enter these pages, do as the Lord advised. Let yourself be be lured by the stories and ideas. Your mind open and your thoughts fluid. Slowly you will find yourself absorbing the position through the skin, and you will begin to see everything as a seduction, including the way you think and how you look at the world. Most virtue is a demand for greater seduction. The Natalie Barney.